In the midst of Nazi Germany, one man proved that in spite of all the horrors, all the terrible things that he had to face in the concentration camp, one can still make through and believe if he has purpose and meaning in life. Hello, guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about Viktor Frankl and his book, Man's Search for Meaning. This book is written after Viktor Frankl got out of the concentration camp. Viktor Frankl was a very big neuropsychiatrist in Austria, Germany, but when Hitler started to rise, all all the Jews that were in the area had been captured and they were getting tortured in camps, the concentration camps like Auschwitz and everywhere. In spite of his great success, he still got an escape route just for him and his wife to go to America and be free. But Viktor Frankl denies this escape because his father, his mother, and his brother did not have this escape option and he could not just abandon them. So all of them get captured in 1942 and they are taken together to a concentration camps, and after that they get separated. When they get separated, they have no idea where their loved one is. But still, Viktor Frankl goes through his daily routines. In concentration camps, it was horrible. It was fucking horrible what these Nazi people did, Nazi soldiers did to these Jews. It is one of the most horrific things that has happened in human history. Viktor Frankl was still respected in the concentration camps because he was useful, because he was a doctor. The Nazi soldiers were using him to treat other like sick Jews. They were doing all kinds of experiments in these concentration camps. You can read a lot about it in, like, you can Google like what kind of experiments they used, humans like cockroaches, like monkeys, lab experiments, and they tortured them and they killed them. They used to strip all the Jews naked and lead them into gas chamber and kill them. They treated Jews so horribly. They treated them like pests, like a cockroach, which you just tramp upon. But as the story goes on, Viktor Frankl then goes through his daily routine. He is made to break stones for no reason. He is treated horrible. The food there, the living conditions, it is like the worst thing that can happen to you. A lot of people had given him advice that he shouldn't run. He should just say yes to whatever the Nazi soldier ordered him. Then Viktor Frankl is being transported to some other concentration camp and he is being transported in a train. Viktor Frankl realizes that he could see the house where he had grown up and where he had stayed all his life. And he realized that he could see it from the window of his train. Viktor Frankl was crammed up in this train. There were like hundreds of people in a single bogie. Viktor Frankl literally gets down on the floor of the train and crawls through shit, urine, everything. The floor of this railway bogie is disgusting. He crawls through just to get a glimpse of his house where he grew up. The amount of horrors that Jews faced in concentration camps, you can read in this book. It is too much for any human. Viktor Frankl is then shifted to a concentration camp near the Bavarian Hills. As you read through the book, you realize how much horrific and terrible these guys' suffering are there, but this guy is still going on. What is motivating him? So one day in the Bavarian Hills, Viktor Frankl is made to break stones. And during this sunset, he gets this insight, a intuition, like an inner feeling. He just looks at the sunset and he realizes, yes, his mom, his dad, his brother, and his loving wife all are dead. There is no point for him to live beyond this moment. But most of us think of giving up at this point. Most of us don't want to continue. If there are no loved one left of yours, why would you want to live? But Viktor Frankl justifies this reason that they love you and you love them, and this infinite existence of love throughout the ages is what is the reason to live, and he just lives through it. During 1945, when the World War II was ending and Hitler was losing bad, all these Nazi soldiers were evacuating their concentration camps. They made sure that before they lost, they could kill as many as Jews they could. This was this horrible mentality that these Nazi soldiers had against Jews. and it was all manipulated by Hitler himself. Hitler blamed all the Jews for the fall of Germany in World War One. Instead of using these soldiers to fight the war, he just made them kill more Jews. When the war had ended and Viktor Frankl was getting freed, he came out and he wrote this book, and he gave this beautiful, statement that anything can be taken from man. Anything, your wife, your family, everything you love, where you grew up, your identity itself was lost in these concentration camps, but he still found a reason to live. And he justified this that he had found meaning and purpose in his suffering. He believed that he had to live for the love of his wife, his father, his mother, and his brother. This love motivated him so much that he had to get out of the concentration camp. He wanted to prove to the people, like, 6 million Jews died in the concentration camps, and like much more millions were still locked up in the concentration camps. And he wanted to prove to them, even though we have lost everything, still see, I can live, we can survive, we can build our entire new future on the love and the people that used to love us. Even though they are not here, we can still strive to live. And this is one of the most selling books. I think he has sold over like 16 million copies. It's a very short read, but you get to see how did this guy not give up. I When I was reading this book, I thought he was selfish, a little bit selfish, and a big part of him just believed in the love. But I want to leave this thought with you as I end this video. Would it be worth it if you made everything, if you got the biggest success you ever desired, and there is not even a single loved one of yours to watch? What is the point? I This was the thought I got after reading this book. But book gives a lot of hope in some sense. It makes you believe that when a horrible stuff happens to you, you still have the freedom to choose how you react. This this time period when a stimulus arrives and your reaction is there, between there is a very thin amount of time where you can choose how you react to the horrible situations that happened to us in life. Like, this guy had the most horrible thing that happened to him. Everybody he loved died. And he also did not have a very nice time in the concentration camp. He was being tortured every day. But he still found meaning and hope in life. This is where he started a new kind of psychiatric treatment, logotherapy, where he believed a human does not need power or lots of other materialistic things to survive. A human just needs purpose and meaning. If he has them, he can suffer through any hell. When you have a reason to live, no amount of suffering, no amount of horrible things that can happen to you affect you. You have meaning, you have a purpose in life. So, yeah, this is kind of the book. Yeah, I want all of you guys just to read this book. This is a very short book, and I want you guys to answer, how do you think he justified that? Even though he came out, he made this statement, yes, we have a choice. At any moment, we can choose how we react. But instead of all, in spite of all this, success, there is not even a single loved one of his. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, and subscribe.